Good morning. Welcome in. Sorry I'm late this morning. I had a very late night and it was hard to get moving this morning. Welcome in. Carol Hill's here. Polly Esther is here. Christmas Fusion, Evermore, Junk Gypsy, Chastity is here. Pendum, June, Just Something About It. The Trader Man, Elfin Ma is here. Granite 55. Welcome in. How's everybody today? Happy Tuesday. Hope it's a good morning for you. And I am mountain time, so it's just barely after 8 for me. Normally I start at 7:45, but like I said, I had a very, very late night. We did a later show yesterday, and I ended up trying to get some stuff started with packing and shipping, and it just was a late night. So yeah. Meant to be farm. Welcome in. Laughing Lily's Alicia Welcher. Welcome. All right, I'm gonna start a poll. Let me get this set up. Okay, so my question is, how many shows have you done? Have you done sounds very like not grammatically correct. How many shows have you had? That sounds better. All right, so choice number one is 0. Choice number two is 1 to 10. And choice number three, too many to count. Or you don't know. All right, here we go. Starting the poll. Everyone answer that's here in the chat. How many shows have you had? 0, too many to count, or 1 to 10. Everybody vote in the poll. And anything over 10 is too many to count, because this morning that's about how many I can count anyway. It's up to 10. Anything past that, probably not. No. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. It's a poll. If you're on a computer, do you see the polls if you're on a computer? I don't know. It should be right on your screen, this poll. If you're on a mobile device, should look like that. And you vote. So I'll put a vote in for Bert. Too many to count, because that's the mod phone we use. Good morning. Welcome the poll, or answer the poll question. Welcome in. And let's see how many people have had 0 shows. So nobody in here yet has had 0 shows. So you've all done at least 1 show. Interesting. Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess, because if you've done 0 shows, maybe you haven't been out searching for help. Maybe you've had a few and decided you need help. I don't know. So we'll have to explore why nobody here has had 0 shows yet. Interesting. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. My name is Dana, and AKA Draz, and I have a poll up. It's that time again. I have a poll up. Everybody answer the question in the poll, please. And while the poll is up, if you want to move it, you can to see the show notes. But on iPad or iPhone, iOS, Apple, the show notes disappear. But I just noticed on Android, when I made the poll move, the poll disappeared completely and the show notes are showing. Anyway, when my show notes show up again after our poll is completed, I'll have you read the show notes. Still no zeros. No zeros. All right. So everybody's already that's here that voted. Let's see, we have 9 votes, 10 people, so that's pretty good. Pretty good representation. Welcome in Williams Rustic Salvage. Answer the question, please, in the poll. Got Stitch and Witch. Welcome in. Gathering old memories. Everybody answer the poll question, please. And then we're going to get started. Oh, we just got someone answering that they've had 0 shows. 2 people have had 0 shows. So maybe the new people that just came in have had 0 shows. And maybe you're not a seller yet. All right. Let's give it a few more seconds. Everybody tell me in chat if it is officially fall where you live, and what does that mean? Well, if you live in certain parts of California, Hawaii, Florida, maybe you don't really get a fall or not much of one. Maybe deep south. But if it's officially fall, meaning it's gotten cooler, the leaves are changing. Tell me if it's fall. It's fall here. You're in Nebraska. It's officially fall. In Chicago, it's fall-ish. Oh, you're having an unseasonably warm fall. Northeast New Jersey, definitely fall there. Oh my gosh, that area of the country. So, the original 13 colony type states, fall is where it's at. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The Pacific Northwest, right? You would think is a beautiful fall state, but it's not really. It's beautiful year round, but it's a green area because most of the trees there are evergreens versus the East Coast, where most of the trees are the hardwoods, and you get the beautiful fall colors. Missouri, it's fallish there. Okay. You went straight to winter. I know we've had these big storms. Technically, we sort of did too, but the mountains are getting a ton of snow, but the valleys aren't too bad yet. But we've been getting a lot of rain, which is nice. Yeah, the colors in the East Coast, in the, New York, New Jersey, Vermont, all those kind of states, fall colors, amazing. Florida, still in the upper 80s. Yeah, that's what I was saying. In Florida, it's like you don't really have much of a fall. It's just kind of hot and then a little cooler for the rest of the year, right? So, yeah, I used to live in southern Arizona. Same kind of deal, just not as humid. And the ocean is further away. So, yeah. All right, welcome everybody. Okay, everybody answered the poll. I think we'll end it. So, we've got 2 people that are newbies that are going to admit it. We've got 8 people that have had 1 to 10 shows, and 7 of us have had too many to count. Anything over 10. I think once you've had 10 shows, you can fit into that, right? Been there, done that. I've got it. Hopefully. Doesn't mean it's perfected, but you've at least been able to go live enough that you can continue to go live, right? Yeah, fall in Florida last 2 days. Yeah. All right. So let me end the poll. Thanks everyone for participating. It kind of gives me an idea who we've got in the audience. And yeah. All right. Urban Dills, welcome in. Yeah, I've lived in a couple places where I feel like that's the case. You get, this difference between fall and winter, and then winter to spring is so almost unnoticeable that you're like, okay, hey, Xavier, how are you? Well, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's been a while. Hey, Cindy Fish, welcome in. All right, so let me take a screenshot really quick of my poll results just for fun. All right, tomorrow on my schedule is a show that I need everybody to bookmark because tomorrow we're going to talk in depth about how to get people in your shows and how to keep them there. So, how to attract buyers and keep them there. That's our topic tomorrow. And honestly, right now, I don't know. Well, it's not an issue of whether you can get people in your shows and keep them there necessarily. It's an issue of are are people bidding up and spending right now? And the answer to that is meh. Okay. All right. So we're going to end this poll. Thanks, everyone. Let me see if it ended it. There we go. All right. Let me see if I have any questions. No questions yet that I need to answer. So, okay. So based on those poll results, we've got a couple of people that are newbies. Um, as far as not having had shows yet, make sure you read the show notes and take a copy of the show notes, like a screenshot. There's a lot of good information in the show notes, including my YouTube account address. So if you want to rewatch any of my past seller chats, I have them in my YouTube channel. I multicast there, and you can go to my YouTube channel and watch the lives from previous shows. There's a couple that are important. If you need help with shipping, there is a show in my lives called Don't Sink Your Shipping. There's actually two of them called that. One is part two, so it's the more current one. And it goes with this document that's in my auction tab, which is choosing basic shipping settings. So if you need help with shipping, make sure you get a screenshot of this document and that you go and watch that past live show called Don't Sink Your Shipping. It has a little ship emoji in the title, at the beginning of the title. All right. And when to get to my YouTube channel, it's in the show notes. It's Draz on Whatnot, all one word. Type in the ampersand and my whole name, and you'll find it. I have the same logo on YouTube as I do on here. So that little sewing logo thing. How do you know when to start your items at $1 start or an amount to start the bid? So you price your items when you're new, you price your items at what you need to get. You should not be doing dollar starts unless if you're a person who wants to hit the ground running literally and peel yourself off the pavement, go ahead and do dollar starts. But I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to lose money for I don't know how long until it picks up. And right now is not a good time for dollar starts. So you start your starting bid at what you have to make. Whatever your cost of goods are and you need to make is what you start your items at. And then every once in a while, if your show is going well and people are in there and you're getting some bids up, then go ahead and do a dollar start every once in a while, just to reward the chat. Call it a buck and go. Every 20 sales we'll do a dollar start, or every 10 sales we'll do a dollar start. But otherwise, don't. There's no reason to have to do a dollar start. And you will go into bigger shows where they have, a huge audience, and they simply just do dollar starts, but they can do dollar starts because they can afford to have, 5 items sell for $1 and everything else gets bid up, right? But when you're new, you can't do that. Okay. Lily Lane would really love some bookmarks for her vintage linens raid train show tomorrow. and benefit for Leah Raid Train on Thursday. Every seller has a banger, a $1 banger item. Thanks for telling us, Lily. So everybody give Lily a follow if you're not already following her, which I am. And let's go bookmark her shows tomorrow. And then on the 16th, tell us a little bit about the vintage Leah support train. So all tips go to Leah. And I'm not sure who Leah is, so do tell. And that sounds like a kind and wonderful thing people are doing. I love that about Whatnot. It's something people can do to help others out. Okay. All right. Let's see. CP finds her correct address. I'm not sure how to proceed now. Let me see what I missed. I had a buyer ask where her package was. I found the receipt and it shows delivered, but Whatnot has a different tracking number. I verified it was her correct address. I'm not sure how to proceed. So you need to message, go to the order, press get help with order, give them your name, your username, the order number, the customer's username, and tell them what happened and have them investigate. That sounds weird to me that it has a different tracking number. Something's messed up. So, yeah, that doesn't sound right. So have them investigate and get back to you. But stay on the same email thread. So when you send them the message and they respond, because they'll usually send you a generic little, we got your message, we'll let you know. So when they respond with at least something initial, always stay on the same email thread so that your back and forth does not get lost. So that would be what I would do, because that doesn't sound right. Thank you, Lily, for bookmarking my shows. All right. Did that answer that well enough about the dollar starts? Anyone else want to go into that topic some more? Okay. For some reason, I think a lot of people come on here and see the bigger sellers doing that and think that that is, kind of that's the standard. And it's not. It's not. And they probably didn't do that when they were new either. Or if they did, like I said, they wanted to, because there are sellers that have a business plan and they just want to hit the road running like 9 million hours or miles an hour, and they are willing to lose money for a while until they get traction. All right, so Leah is a seller on here and she's having surgery, owns a shop in Virginia, and will be out of work for 6 weeks. So all tips and proceeds from the dollar banger items go to her. That's very kind. So very nice. So everyone, please bookmark that for Lily Lane. That's one of the things you can do for other people that costs you nothing. And of course, if you can actually go to the show, do some support, give a tip, whatever, great. But giving people bookmarks and a follow, it just helps the algorithms. It shows that there's interest. And that's something you can do for each other as sellers to just support the community. So always do that. Don't be afraid. You always end up following more people than you can keep track of, but that's okay, because bookmarks and tagging items is how you can get notified when the ones that you actually, regularly attend, who they are, and you can go out and explore and find new ones too. But, helping other people out by giving follows and bookmarks is harmless and helps them out. Fusion says, I won an auction on 10/2, but the seller has not shipped the item yet. I reached out to her, but have not gotten a response. Should I contact Whatnot? Let's see. Is today the 14th? That sounds right. So on 10/2, so definitely should have been shipped. So yeah, just go into your orders and press need help and message them and let them know that you don't show that it's been shipped. Their timeline for that, obviously the seller is supposed to have shipped it within 2 days. I don't know at what point they consider it, um, it ain't going to happen and they'll refund you your money. But they'll respond back and let you know. So just give them a little screenshot or make sure you give them the order number when you message. It should put it all in there as you message directly from there. But sometimes they respond back, the bots respond back. And if they don't see it in the message, they'll ask you for it. So usually put that in. You're welcome. Yeah. And unfortunately, that does happen. Here's what I will tell you, as those of you that are newer sellers, um, the way that Whatnot set up their business model, it's not free of people who are scammy, but it pretty much prevents people who want to burn and leave. So come on, sell some stuff and, just grab the profits and leave without shipping their items. Because in order to get instant payout, you have to have sold 1,000 items before you start getting instant payout. And when you're new, you don't get paid till it shows delivered for a significant amount of time. So it does really prevent those, because I've been on other platforms where you had people that would set up a shop, um, and then sell a bunch of items, and they would try and pick something that was very trendy and hot, and they would put on beautiful pictures, usually stealing other people's listings, and sell a bunch of crap, and then literally close up shop, walk away, and they had, thousands of dollars, and they never shipped a dang thing. So I love how Whatnot set it up so that it prevents that. But unfortunately, you still have dodos who come on and try crap like that. And you do have to give people the benefit of the doubt. You never know. Somebody maybe came on, did some shows, and had some horrible thing happen. You never know. But yeah, just message and you should be able to get your money back if they're not going to ship it. Hey, 1799 house, how are you? Hope it's going well. So I did a little poll at the beginning of the show to kind of gauge, how new or not new people are. And we've got only a couple of people that have done 0 shows and a decent amount that had done 1 to 10 shows. And it was split between about evenly about between those two, between 1 to 10 and then too many to count, which is anything over 10. So yeah. All right. Um, let's talk about what's in my auction tab for those that are new. So if you'll just tap on your screen on the little shop and then navigate to the auction tab versus the buy it now. It'll take you to the buy it now first, but just click the auction tab and you can see all the auction items. None of these are anything I ever run. These are just items for you to screenshot. I have 15 different documents in there of all different kinds of topics, cheat sheets, and help for you for all different things. So make sure you go through the auction tab while you're in here, especially if you're new to me, and take screenshots. So you just tap the picture of the item. So like the first one on this screen showing up is this little chart. You just tap the picture, tap it again, and then you've got a bigger picture of that you can just screenshot and save them all and go through all of those things. So there's just really good cheat sheets to help you with different things. And then do the same thing with the show notes. So open the show notes up bigger and scroll down to where you can see all of those starred bullets. and take a screenshot of that. Those are the official places that you should be going to get help. So when you're like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? The very first thing you should do is go to the official source. So it's just like if you're one of those stubborn people who gets something new, like a bicycle, that you have to put together, and you start putting it together and you didn't read the instructions. You should read the instructions, right? And then if you can't figure that out, usually nowadays they'll have a YouTube video that the company who makes the bike put together. That's your next best source, right? Always go to the official source first for information. So in the show notes, we have the first start bullet in there is the Whatnot seller account that you can go to here on the app. It's an account just like your account is an account. They have a profile called Whatnot Sellers, and they do shows regularly on that account, about 3 or 4 a month, sometimes more. And one of the shows they do talks about updates. One of the shows they do talks about, or they interview other sellers. Sometimes they're introducing a new category. So all different things. And then lately they've actually been doing um, shows that are specifically geared at new sellers. So they'll show you how to do something. Like they did a basics show recently where they just talked about how to go live. So, yeah. So, right now on their schedule, the next show is on the 22nd, and they're going to be interviewing Cindy from Mom and Crumbs. And I love the shows where they interview sellers because you get a lot of really good ideas, tips, because they go through and kind of have the person tell their story, what they did, how they've got, how they've been able to do so well. And you just get ideas and tips about what things you might be able to do to help you be more successful. Okay. Then on the 29th, they're talking about attracting buyers best practices, which is what we're going to be talking about in my show tomorrow. That's our theme for this month for the community support team. So I'm part of the community support team for Whatnot. We are a group of sellers, a group of trusted sellers who Whatnot has teamed up with to help provide community support. So once a month, I do a show where we talk about a specific topic and we share some information and a new document that they've put together to kind of talk about that topic. So that will be on my in my show tomorrow. So make sure you have that bookmarked. And I'm doing that one tomorrow at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. So a little bit early for me, but not for some of you. So make sure you have that bookmarked. All right, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, and then I'm back to my auction tab. So all those documents, again, you just tap the shop, go into the auction tab, and you've got all those documents in the auction that you can screenshot. And sorry, there was a listing that accidentally got in there. I just moved it. All right, everything else except for that one that I just moved, which was a bundle of zippers, not a cheat sheet. Yeah. So B Square Designs is getting ready for your show. Everyone bookmark your show. When is it at? Let me check. So let me give you a follow. B Square Designs show is today at 8:45, happening, almost happening in like 10 minutes. Spooky pop culture, other women's fashion. Very cool. So everybody bookmark that show for B Square Designs. It's happening shortly. Let's get her some more bookmarks. She only has 4. Can everyone go in and please bookmark this show for B Square Designs to give her a little boost on getting that show started? Okay. And then bookmark a few more while you're in there to be nice. Okay, so we've got some of those bookmarked. Thanks for coming in. Beverly is B Squared Designs. All right. Thanks, everyone. Yes, thanks for giving her some bookmarks. It's so hard to be new. Sometimes they, depending on when you go live, you can get a boost on your first couple of shows, and that does help a little bit. But everyone that's done more than 10 shows, which was half our audience, remember that anxiety of going live and having, nobody in your show trying to get started, trying to figure out how to do things, and only having a few people in there. So, yeah, everybody do that. And maybe she's done more, but she didn't have a lot of bookmarks. So it's hard to get a lot of traction. How long have I been doing this? I keep forgetting to go look up how long I've been doing my walk and talk, but I know it's more than a year. And I've been a seller on Whatnot for more than 3 years. I started going live in fall of 2022. Fall of 2022. So I think my very first live show was in November. So not quite 3 years, but I was approved to sell in August. And I drug my feet a little bit like most people do. And I will tell you that I highly, highly, highly like stomp my feet, throw a fit, regret that I drug my feet even for one day. Okay. Because the trajectory of growth from the time that I started until now has been like massive. And if I had started going live a little bit sooner, you know, hindsight is 2020. But I should have not drug my feet. But it was a different time. I was in a different place 3 years ago. And I owned a company. We were running a company. I also had a part-time job. Life was crazy. And it would have been difficult for me to go live more. And now we are on Whatnot full time, 100%. This is our only income. So, yeah. But I did. Yes. Thank goodness I did. It changed our lives dramatically. We have 100% control over our own destiny and get to do what we want to do. And it's been a blast. It's been a blast. Reselling is not for the weak. Let me tell you, we work hard, we work our butts off, and some it's very up and down. And right now it's kind of down because the economy's in the toilet. Our stupid politicians can't seem to pass a budget, can't come together. We're all expected to show up, do what we're supposed to be doing, and they can't. Pisses me off. And so a lot of people are uneasy about the economy. And so it's kind of down right now. So, yeah. So Crazy Stitchin said, I started on Etsy, then started on Whatnot, then I canceled Etsy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Most other platforms, if you think it's hard here, try selling on any other platform right now. It's really bad, really bad. So this is the best place to be. Whatnot is the new kid on the block, the trendy, fun, exciting, all the good stuff, you know. So you're in a good place. And when things get a little bit better, economy and government and it'll pick back up. So, and we're still You just have to do things a little bit different when things are down to still do what you need to do. So that's how it is. Field trip quilting, welcome in. All right, so let me just make sure I didn't miss a question while I was pontificating. Let's see. Yeah, so 3 years is how long I've been doing this. Well, total. And then the walk and talk chats over a year, but I can't remember when I started doing them. Yes, be ready to pivot. You have to be flexible on this platform. You never know who's going to show up in your shows and what they're going to want. And pivot doesn't always mean, it can just mean how you sell. It can mean what you sell. It can mean how long you stay on or not. It can mean a bunch of different things. It just means you've got to be able to read the audience. You've got to be able to change, up what you were going to do. It's always good to have a plan. It's always good to be prepared. But I would say find a happy medium of being really prepared and having a plan to being able to just flip on a dime, because you just really don't know who's going to show up, what they're in the mood for, who's buying, who's not. Hey, have a great day. Have a blessed day, you too. So it's important to know how to read an audience and, kind of gauge what's happening. And sometimes your show where you were planning a certain thing turns into honestly you know, we're all down in the dumps. Let's lift each other up, sell a few things, and call it a day. Sometimes that's how it goes. And you just have to kind of go with the flow, because what else can you do? You know, it just happens. Yes. Yes. Sometimes you're going to have crappy shows. I'll say it a nicer way. Wink, wink. You're going to have crappy shows. Turn it into something positive. Don't just be like, well, fine, and end it quick. Find out why people aren't buying, why people aren't coming, what's going on, and what can you do to improve someone's day, including your own, during that time. It is difficult sometimes. I started in one category, but now it's flooded with sellers. Yeah. I mean, the category that I'm in, I was one of the very first sellers in that category. And the other day, out of curiosity, I counted, and I think it was a week ago, Tuesday, there were 90 shows. 90 shows during the day on that one day in my category. And we were a small category 3 years ago. Like there were only 5 or 6 of us even selling under that category. We didn't even have our own category, really. It was trying to think, when I very first started selling, we had, I think it was just arts and craft supplies. And then they did get us quilting, sewing not too long after that. But literally, it was just a handful of us selling, fabric and craft items, yarn, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, yes, there's a lot of competition now. What does that mean? Well, it means that you have to stand out somehow. We're going to talk about that ad nauseum tomorrow. What can you do to stand out? And I don't have all the magical answers, honestly. One of the answers is just being consistent. That's the number one answer to that question. What can I do to stand out? Be consistent. Show up. Be here. That's how to be consistent, is show up. So, yeah. Yeah, show up and show out. I like that. That's a good mantra. Show up and show out. So, yeah. And everybody likes different people and different vibes. So, as long as you're showing up consistently and you're being authentic and you're doing what you can do to make your shows inviting, warm, friendly, fun, all those good things, people will come and find you. Your trajectory just all depends on how much time and effort you can put into it. And everybody has different goals, you know, and it's important to write down your goals because then you can focus on that and not focus on what am I doing wrong. You're focusing on what am I doing to make this happen. So if your goal is, I need to make X amount of money to support my spending habits, and you're just going to go live, once a week or once a month, even, then that's your goal. And you just don't even put the blinders on to everything else but your goal. If your goal is, I need a significant side gig and need to make X amount of money to help pay my bills every month, then what are you going to do to make that happen? Write it down, figure it out, make it happen, right? And yes, be good. It's not hard to just be kind and nice and good, provide good customer service, and, things will, you know, go well for you. People who come on here with a tude, with an attitude, will not survive because, first of all, they're going to be pissed about all the work it is. And, they're going to be pissed that people aren't coming in. They're going to be pissed that nobody's staying. They're going to be pissed about whatever. If you're a pissy person, probably don't even bother. It's not going to go well. You've got to lose the attitude before it's going to go well for you. Right? Yes. And don't be fake. People can tell. Um, yeah. Let's see. If each of those 90 shows invites 5 people to the platform, yes, that's another thing, you guys. You need to be networking on social media and in real life. If you have a real life outside of the world wide web, you need to be networking everywhere I go. I talk to people about what I do and how it works, and I give everybody a link. Come check it out everywhere I go. So my whole family, everybody I go to church with, everybody knows what I do, and I share the link. And I go live. I multicast on Facebook, although my multicast on Facebook has not been working lately. But yeah, everywhere you go, everything you do, you share what you do so that we can become a household. So, how many of you have shared what you do, and how many people still have never heard of Whatnot? A ton, a ton, a ton, a ton. So, we've still got lots of room to grow. In our show that we had last night, I had 11 new buyers. 11. That's a lot of new buyers, right? Yeah. If there's room for everyone, everybody needs to share, everybody needs to be networking like crazy in and outside of the app. That's how you get growth, is you network, you share, you invite, all of that good stuff, right? And do it in a positive way. Don't get mad that an item sells lower than you expect. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But here's the key for that: just don't run it. If you have an item that is like the item that you're just like, and I have this happen, if I have something that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love this, and I can't keep it because I just can't keep everything, but dang it, I don't want to sell it unless it sells for X amount of money. Well, then dang it, don't run it for less than that. If someone loves it as much as you do, they'll pay for it, right? Because if you're in someone's show and you see something that you have to have and other people are bidding on it, if you have to have it, you're going to bid it up, right? Same deal. If someone else has to have it, they're going to be willing to pay the price that you put it at. So don't run it for less or don't run it at all. Don't even show it. If the show is not, if you know that show is not going to support that item, just don't run it. It can sit on your shelf till next week. It's not going to die, right? So just don't run it. That's how you know that you've arrived at the I can figure out how to read my audience. You show what's going to sell, you run things at the price you have to have, do what you need to do, figure it out. Field Trip said, I tried to set the multicast last week and it was broken also. I wonder if yeah, it's been really buggy lately. And honestly, I asked about it and the answer I got was kind of like, yeah, we know it's a problem. It's not a high priority right now. So they've just got so many things that they're trying to work on that it's just not a huge priority for them. So, get it set up. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. That's unfortunate, but they're aware. They are aware that it's buggy right now. So, yeah. All right, let me switch back to questions. Let's see so I don't miss anything. Let's see. It's difficult sometimes. I started one stat. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. It is flooded. I was just in a show and the seller said there's 35 of you in here. $1? Really? I pieced out real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Because there's a nicer way to say that. There's a nicer way to be like, wow, that's amazing. You just got the deal of the day. That's kind of like saying, holy crap, I just sold that item for $1. But like I said, if that's how you feel about it, don't show it, don't run it, or just be classy that someone just got a smoking deal, that they smoked your shorts. Because it's not their fault that you were choosing to run things for $1. You chose to do that. Take ownership, be the boss of your show. That's another thing. It's hard for me because I'm a pleaser. I don't like contention. I like to make people happy. I'm a pleaser. And if you're a pleaser, you know what I mean, right? So, but you've got to be the boss of your show. That doesn't mean you're pushy and rude. It just means that you're in control. Don't let the chat, don't let pushy people push you into doing things you don't want to do. Okay, so be the boss, but be the nice boss. Be the boss of your show and take ownership of what you do. Yeah, you're a recovering people pleaser. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too bad. I mean, I'm a pleaser in the sense that I love to make people happy and I love for people to be pleased with what, they're seeing or doing or whatever. But I'm also very I'm a type A personality big time. So I'm also very organized most of the time and I have things structured. And so when you have it that way, it's easier to still please and know that you're in charge and you've got control, right? Does that make sense? So, yeah. But yeah, it's tough for people right now and people who get upset about it not going their way. if they're openly, expressing that in their shows, people aren't going to stick around because it's like, it's like life's hard enough. I didn't come on here to get, you know, I didn't come on here to get, what's the word, get abuse from you, you know. It's like, excuse the heck out of me for coming to your show, right? If that's how they're making you feel, right? Yeah, reprimanded. Yeah. So, yeah. And that reminds me again of my little homework assignment I tell people to do, you know, go watch, and I need to do this, but I'm so busy right now. But go watch 10 shows that you've never been in ever, ever. You don't know them from Adam and you've never been in their show. Go watch 10 shows. Have a piece of paper and a pen. Those do still exist, pen and paper, and write down. And I think it's important to write it on pen and paper. And here's why. Because if you put it in your show, like in your phone, in some notes, you're never going to see it again, right? You're never going to look at it again. Write it on a physical piece of paper that you tack to your fridge for a week or two. So watch 10 shows you've never ever been in and write down, why did I want to stay and why did I want to leave? We just got rated. Who rated us? Making Grace Vintage. Thank you so much for the raid. Everyone give Making Grace Vintage a follow. I'm already following her. Are you? And let's go see when her next show is. Here we go. Making Grace Vintage. Her next show is on today. Ooh, you're doing a two for today. Another show today at 3:45. $5 starts live from the bins. So I met Making Grace, sort of. She was live here for my bins in Utah. And I found something that I gave her to sell, handed it over, and said, I know what you're doing. She's adorable. I was watching her, peeking over at her. We go to the bins every great once in a while. We're about an hour away, and I just happened to be there when she was live from the bins. I love live from the bins because you just never know what they're going to find. It's like treasure hunting. It's an addiction, right? So I hope you had a great show. Were you live from the bins today? That seems, no, you weren't. It was too early, right? So what did you raid from? Tell us, tell us. What were you doing this morning? And thank you so much for the raid. Just something about it says I run a few fun dollar items at the end for those who have stuck it out. Love that. Love that. Yeah, why not add stuff to your box if you're at max shipping? Yeah, love that. Also do flash sales, you know, take some stuff that you've already, pre-priced out of your bin, run a flash sale, and people can add a few little lower cost items to their. So you were doing a Q&A. Oh, awesome. That's awesome. So welcome everybody that just got here with that raid. And give me a follow if you are inclined. I don't run giveaways in this show typically. Tomorrow I will. So everyone bookmark tomorrow's show. I'm going to make a couple of Whatnot fabric bookmarks. I have Whatnot fabric, you guys. 3 years ago, when I started selling in this category, they actually made some Whatnot logoed fabric that we were able to win or buy. And I have a bunch still, and I'm making coasters and bookmarks. And everyone said last time they liked the bookmarks better. So maybe I'll make one of each. Anyway, if you want a Whatnot coaster or a Whatnot bookmark, come tomorrow. And I can't sell the fabric, but I can make stuff out of it to give away. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, I will do that tomorrow. All right. So everyone bookmark that show tomorrow. We're going to talk about how to get people in your shows and how to keep them there. And I don't think I'm the expert at all of doing that in my own shows, but I try. If you look at my stats, I haven't done too shabby. We've made the decision to kind of stay or keep around where we're at because we don't want to hire people to have to do things. And because we sell in a category where we're not selling like hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars items. And so we sell a lot, but our average sale is probably hovers around 7 6 7 bucks an item because we're selling fabric and craft items, right? So that's what we love, that's what we sell. You're selling your bead stash. Is it wrong to offer $1 beads? It's not if you can afford to do it, but remember that if you sell something for $1, you make, after it's all said and done, about 33 cents or less. So you decide, is your time worth 33 cents? Maybe it's better to do bundles and sell them for more starting bid because it's a bundle, people are excited about it and bid it up more because they're getting a lot with one sale. That's what I would consider. I have an opportunity to clean out a whole barn. Never done a show like that. Don't know how they deal with the variety of shape and size items. So just something about it. I would say, anything bigger than will fit in a box that's 130 inches, height, size, all that. If you're not an experienced shipper seller, I would avoid that just because on the back end, the amount it costs to ship, people usually won't buy it anyway unless it's something really valuable. So, yeah. So I would avoid anything larger than that just so that you can safely ship most of the stuff. And then, maybe you can help them sell the larger items on, a local source, Facebook Marketplace or something. Yeah. Yeah. And you do have to do custom profiles on bigger items and use don't do the max shipping on your shows. You just can't unless you have thousands of people in your show and everything gets bid up exponentially. You just can't afford to do it because the shipping on the back end will kill you. So, yeah, you just have to decide. And if you need help figuring out the shipping settings, I mean, for a show like that, you're just going to want to have some custom shipping profiles that you can use when you have an item that has to ship by itself so that it unbundles it from anything else they bought. And it says right in the listing, this item will ship separately, so anything that's big, bulky, has to be wrapped in 5 pounds of bubble wrap, all that, you just automatically sell it under a listing that is a one per box type item. So, yeah. Let's see. Elkie said, I know I had my first show and I have a bin with $1 and then a bin with a $2. Yeah, but I would consider you can do a claim show too. Those are kind of hard to manage, but if you do a show where people claim items and then you start making a bundle and then they check out, and then instead of 50 different little transactions, you have everybody gets just set the price and they choose and you bundle them and then they check out, and then they've got a $30 order that they checked out once instead of a bunch of $1 items. So, yeah. So there's lots of ways you can figure it out. All right. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any questions. So everyone that joined with that raid, make sure you take a screenshot of my show notes, and also take screenshots of all the items in my auction tab. So in the auction tab, because those are all my cheat sheets to help new sellers. Do you put those bundle checkouts in your buy it now? Um, it's safer to do that because if you run it as an auction, you always have the take the risk of someone else swiping in that didn't realize what you were doing. So you can always just put it in the bin as, the person's name. Then and there's no picture. It's just a temporary listing, you know, Susan's order. And then you've totaled up what she bought and put it in there at the right weight. And you can just weigh it, the exact weight, put it in there with their name. But those shows do have to go a little bit slower pace because you've got to keep up. If you have someone helping you that can put the orders in as you're selling, that's beautiful. But if you're doing it by yourself, you do have to make sure you can manage how that works. Yeah. You make them buy one item to start. That's not a bad idea, especially if you're doing bundled shipping. Have them buy one item and then they can start bundling the rest. And I like that idea too because they are less likely to ghost you if they've bought the first item. Then they'll stick around to get the rest of their items to um, make it worth their time to have been there and to get the rest of their, to get their shipping worth, right? Yeah, love it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't do a lot of those types of shows just because of well, partly because my husband and I sell together and he hates them. Because he hates trying to keep track and he gets antsy if people get pissy in the chat about who claimed it or the first couple of times we tried it, people were kind of that way. It was kind of a new concept and it bugged him. And so he doesn't love to do those kind of shows. But we've done them again. We did it with like patterns and stuff. Yeah. Yes, people earn bundling privilege. So you just put it right in your show notes that, if you bundle in this show and then you ghost me, you run the risk A of getting blocked or B never being allowed to bundle again. You're going to be on my list and do make a physical list so that you remember the people who ghosted you before. And you don't necessarily have to block them, but don't let them bundle again, right? So yeah. Oh, Fabric Revival just raided. Thank you so much for the raid. Sorry I missed that. How are you? Everybody give Fabric Revival a follow. Here we go. Here's Morgan. Fabric Revival right there. And let's give her next show a bookmark, which is on the 3rd of November. So wake up, drink coffee, and then buy fabric. So she's telling you, wake up first, have your coffee, and then buy fabric in that order. Right? Love it. So that's a cute title. It's a good idea, right? To wake up first, make sure you're happy about what you're buying. All right. So just if I'm on at midnight, oh yeah. Yep, agree. All right. Everyone make a copy of the show notes and please bookmark tomorrow's show. We're going to talk about, I'm going to be in front of the camera instead of walking on my treadmill. And we're going to talk about how to attract and keep buyers in your shows. We're going to talk about strategies. What can you do? And I'll be honest with you, having been selling on here for 3 years, you can get lazy. And I'm in one of those spots right now where I feel like I've kind of, I need to mix things up. You've got to constantly be mixing things up, doing something new, because as new sellers come on, the trend is honestly, oh, been there, done that. Let's go check out the new sellers. So you've got to do things to constantly mix things up and keep people coming back to your shows. Do you have some faithful viewers? Yes, but they get overloaded. They'll still come to your shows, but they don't necessarily buy like they used to. So you've got to constantly be getting new buyers. What are you going to do to make it so that the people coming want to stay and the people that have been coming still come? What are you going to do? So you've got to be constantly mixing things up to keep it exciting, keep it new, keep it fun. What are you going to do? And of course, initially, what are you going to do to be the new kid on the block that has an awesome, fun show people want to be in? So, yeah. And it doesn't have to be a dog and pony show where you're doing tricks or you're a stand up comedian. It just means be authentic, be you, but bring your best everything to the table that you can. And people who are like minded, um, make a connection with you are going to want to stick around because they enjoy your company, they enjoy your style, they enjoy what you have to offer. They see your passion about what you're selling, what you're doing, and they enjoy learning about you and spending time with you. Um, and be 100% real about the fact that this platform is just as much a social media entertainment platform as it is about you trying to make a buck. And if you don't understand that, it's going to be a hard road because if you don't have the patience for the entertainment and social media aspect of the platform and you're just trying to make a buck, you're probably going to do better making your bucks somewhere else because you're not going to have the patience to do all the other things and to be all the other stuff people want to have. And sometimes you are the counselor. You're the place people landed to feel better about their sucky day. If you can't help them feel better about their sucky day, because they're here to chill, they're here to um, unload, de-stress, whatever you call it. It's you're the new whatever they used to do to relax. They're coming to whatnot now. And if you aren't providing it, they'll go to someone else's show. Yeah. So, Ruse, yes, I do multicast onto YouTube. The multicasts have been glitchy lately, so I can't always guarantee it's going to show up, but YouTube has been working. Facebook, meh, not so much. So it should be there. Sometimes it takes a day or two for it to actually show up. But if you go to my YouTube channel, which is in the show notes, it's Draz on Whatnot. And if you go search for it, I'm not a social media influencer who had a YouTube account that has millions of followers. So you actually have to type in my name with the ampersand and you'll find it with my logo. And I'm just this lonely little whatnot seller out there on YouTube. But if you type it in with the ampersand and you find it that way, it's easy to find. And then you can subscribe to my channel, which is awesome if you do. And anyone that's a seller who has YouTube, I do go check my subscribers and people who have public accounts, I will follow you back. But anyway, I digress. Go on there and go to the lives. Instead of the videos or the shorts, you go to lives and it will be in there, my past seller chats, and you can rewatch them. So, yeah. And thanks for asking. So, yeah, just take a screenshot of my show notes and you'll have that to go find it. And then, auction tab. The one that we're going to talk about tomorrow is this one, attracting buyers. Here we go. Who knows who this seller is? Right there. She got a screenshot on there. I know, and I'm trying to make sure I remember her name so I don't look stupid, but I can't think of it right now because sometimes when you're live and you're walking on your treadmill, your brain doesn't work. All right. And then the other one we're going to use tomorrow is this one that I just pinned, the 5 F's for attracting buyers. I love this little list that I put together. It really nails it down into 5 little, like, do these things, and it's easy to remember. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. If you want to screenshot that, you'll have it before tomorrow. You can read it. And then when you listen to my show tomorrow, you'll be like, ah, the light bulbs will come on. All right. Looks like we're winding down. People got what they wanted. Anyone have any questions that you need to ask? Let me check and see if I missed anything. So, any burning questions that people have about anything I can help you with? Otherwise, we will go find someone to raid. And then if you'll show up tomorrow, I will do giveaways with some whatnot. I think I'll make one coaster and one bookmark. We'll see. We'll see how my sewing time comes today because I do have to hand make them. They're easy to make, quick to make, but I actually have to do it. Have to go in and do it. So I have whatnot fabric, like I was explaining, and I will make a little fabric bookmark and a coaster, and they're flat and they can be sent in an envelope, and they're super cute with the whatnot logoed fabric. And that's what we'll give away in my show tomorrow. Maybe I'll manage to get 3 items made. So yeah. All right. Any other questions or things people want to complain about or talk about that I can help you with? Otherwise, let me go see who we can raid into that is on. Let's see if anyone else is doing a community show this morning that has amazing info. So, oh, Red Rooster's doing her community show this morning. So we're going to go there. She's awesome. She is part of the community support team. She's wearing her whatnot t-shirt and her matching glasses. She's adorable. And she's in Canada, but she's talking about that topic, attracting buyers and keeping them in your show. And then I'll be doing this same topic tomorrow. So let's go join the Red Rooster, see what she has to say. Her name is Kim, and she is so much fun, and she has good stuff. She has little documents you can download, little things you can download, like stickers and stuff like that. All right, so everyone hold your seat for just a second while we go raid into the Red Rooster. Have a marvelous day. Make it a marvelous day. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Here we go.